Hey guys, what's going on? It's been a little while since I've been on this YouTube, and there's a multitude of reasons, right? I got really busy working. I had to work my regular job, and then I started teaching again, so that took up a lot of my time. I was tutoring on the side also, so took up a shit ton of time, and I haven't been able to get on this channel and get into a rhythm. But that's all over now, so I'm going to be able to get into a rhythm now. And the other thing too was, I needed to really kind of sit and recalibrate, and just really think about why I'm doing this and what I'm doing. You know what I mean? In order to be more effective to you guys, I kind of had to sit back because I'd been going through a lot of shit, as you guys know, and kind of sit back and think about what direction I want to take, what I want to teach you guys, what I really want to put on this channel, that sort of thing. So I came to a lot of realizations. You know what I mean? Everything that I talked about in the past is all good shit. So please go back and take a look at a lot of my videos. It's all relevant, right? But what also kind of frustrated me was that, there's a lot of people out there talking shit about the red pill. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of misconceptions about the red pill. Just a lot of stuff out there, a lot of bullshit, and I'd like to take this time on this video to go back to the basics, right? What I think the fundamentals, what I believe in is the fundamentals of red pill, right? I like how red pill originated, right? Like I told you guys, I've been on this red pill thing for, 9, almost 10 years now, right? And I like the way it came to me. You know what I mean? I don't believe in everything in the red pill, especially now. You got these guys like Andrew Tate, man. That guy's a fucking asshole. And then you got all these other cats, right? You got the father of the red pill, which is Rollo Tomasi, which, he's still doing his thing. And then, you got Rich Cooper. You got a couple other guys out there, right, they're still spitting their shit, but it's getting a little out of hand, right? And what I've noticed about the red pill guys, and what I want to really caution you guys against, is getting pissed off at women, getting pissed off at the world, because you see the world differently now, right? I don't think that's the right approach. You know what I mean? Everything you got to take in doses, right? And apply it to context in your life, right? And that's kind of what you need to do, right? I was really looking into a lot of, I watched a lot of YouTube, and I try to learn. I'm always trying to better myself, right? Trying to learn something new every day. But, I got to be honest with you, man. It got overwhelming, and it got really frustrating for me because there's just all this bullshit out there. It's like fitness, right? You listen to all these fitness guys or women or whatever the case may be, right? And they're telling you, well, you can't eat this, or you can't eat that. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. What are you supposed to believe, right? But again, you have to put it in context. What works for you may not work for somebody else, right? If you do keto, somebody else might not. I can't do keto. I got sick when I tried keto, right? So I do macros. You know what I mean? I sit and I measure out my shit, and that works for me. You know what I mean? I've lost 25 pounds during COVID, and now I'm just really tightening it up. You know what I mean? Getting shredded for the summer. It's stuff like that. You got to take it in doses and apply certain aspects of it to you. You know what I mean? Because not everybody's the same. It's not one size fits all. You got to take it you got to take each little bits and pieces of it and apply it to your life and how you want to become, right? The number one thing that you got to do as an alpha male, or, you know, in the red pill community or whatever the case may be, is you got to figure out who you are, who you want to be, right? And then work your way and try to figure out how to become that person, right? I've always been one way, and I told you guys this, right? There was always two directions to my life. There was always this direction, you know, where I had all these fucking assholes, you know, teaching me blue pill shit. And then there was this way, right? The direction that I wanted to go, right? But everybody was telling me, no, you can't go that way, right? No, you got to go this way, right? And this way, when I say blue pill, you know, it's the Hollywood narrative. You got to, you know, happy wife, happy life. And, you know, you got to make your spouse happy. And that means sacrificing what makes you happy, right? And, you know, a lot of people, when I started explaining this kind of shit, right, a lot of people get real frustrated with me and they're like, well, that's why you're not married. That's why, you know what? Fuck you guys, okay? You guys aren't listening. They don't listen. People don't listen because they're tied into that blue pill narrative, right? They don't want to open their minds to something different, right? But I admit, when you get directed into the blue pill and really dive into the blue pill, or the red pill, you get pissed off. You get a little bit like, what the fuck, man? Wait a minute. I believed all this blue pill bullshit, right? And now all of a sudden there's this red pill and it makes sense to me, but that means all this other shit was bullshit. You know what? You just got to forget the blue pill shit, right? And go the direction, you know, and try to be the person that you want to be. But if red pill's not for you, that's okay too, right? If little bits and pieces of red pill are for you, you know, if you want to go purple and go both ways, whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you yay or nay on each one, right? It's whatever fits you, right? So that's kind of what I want to talk about. I want to set the record straight because there's a lot of people out there talking shit about red pill. The reason why I identify with red pill is because I really, really resonate with the fundamentals of red pill, you know? And that's the person that I always wanted to be, right? And the problem is that nobody taught me that, but I always morphed in that direction. That's the direction that I always wanted to go. And when I started listening to the red pill stuff and really started to understand the red pill fundamentals, I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. That's what I always wanted to do. That's who I've always been, right? But then I get with these other blue pill guys and they're like, well, you know, and I admit, man, I fell into it because, you know, I'd get with the woman or you know, and I would just kind of like dwindle, man. You know what I mean? Like, I got to make her happy and sacrifice my happiness. And that's always been. That's why I've never been in a relationship. And the other thing too is, I mean, I've been in relationships. Let me clarify that a little bit, right? I've been in relationships, but I've never felt comfortable in relationships because I always felt like I had to give up a piece of me to become what they wanted me to be instead of what I wanted to be, right? With the exception of my ex-girlfriend, right? My two ex-girlfriends, I was just who I wanted to be. I was just a dude, a single guy that just liked to do what the fuck he wanted to do and liked the things. You have to own who you are, okay? You have to own who you are, become who you are, own it, and don't let anybody get you off that, right? If you like, like I like stereos in my car, right? I have a really expensive stereo in both of my cars. I listen to my music loud. I listen to rap music. I've always listened to rap music. That's just who I fucking am. I remember women came into my life and they wanted to change that. And they said, well, you shouldn't be listening to that. You got an MBA, you got this, and you got that. You know what? Fuck that, dude. I throw on some Tupac, we're good. You know what I mean? Dr. Dre, I'm in. That's what gets me hyped. That's what I like to listen to. Nobody's gonna fucking tell me different, and you have to own it. If somebody gets in your car and says you shouldn't be listening to that shit, well then get the fuck out of my car. You know what I mean? Don't be. I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but don't tell me at the age of 50. I'm 50. I'm gonna be 50 fucking years old this year, right? Don't tell me how to live my life. You know what I mean? I am who I am. You either accept that or you get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by standing your ground, guys. You got to own up to who you are, and you got to be ready to just walk away from relationships, from friendships, from whatever the case may be, and in order to be who you want to be, not sacrifice that for somebody else. Because 99% of the people out there are going to live by this blue pill narrative. They're going to say you're wrong if you go down the red pill path. You got to be ready to walk away from those type of people. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at, right? And the thing is that, in relationships, I've always kind of morphed towards the blue pill because I never knew how to incorporate the red pill in relationships. I did it with my two exes. I really did it. I stood my ground. I never flaked. I was just who I was. You know what I mean? And if they didn't like it, oh well. You know what I mean? And they're not around right now, so my fiance really liked it. She just loved who I was, right? But she was an alcoholic. Then the last girl I dated, she loved it too, but she was, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this, man. She was hypergamous, big time, man. Nobody was good enough, but she ended up marrying her ex-husband, again. So, and I wish her the best. I wish everybody the best. I don't care. I'm indifferent. Let's put it that way. My ex-fiance was the hardest relationship that I've ever been through because I've always had this idea of this relationship, it's kind of like the Notebook, I mean, call it a bitch, it is what it is. But every guy out there, all you motherfuckers out there, think about this, right? The Notebook. Everybody was all about that shit, right? And they wanted a relationship like that. Well, I saw it with my mom and her husband, or not my dad, but my stepdad. They had a fantastic relationship for 10 years. But you know what? He was red pill. He was red pill. I saw him. He didn't budge in his beliefs. But my mom was a complement to his life, right? They came together and they joined and they became better together. And that's what I'm talking about here, guys, right? Is you got to be who you want to be. And then the person that comes into your life, she is who she needs to be, right? And then you guys come in and you complement one each other, right? You make each other better. I don't know how else to explain it. And I had that with my ex-fiance. I really did. It was a fantastic relationship. We're just like best friends. I wanted to hang out with her more than I wanted to hang out with anybody. even my buddies. You know what I mean? But I still went out with my buddies. I still went and played golf. I still, I don't go out and fuck around. I don't go to strip club. I don't do none of that shit, right? Fuck that, dude. That's to me that's weak. You know what I mean? But I'll go out and happy hour or whatever, go out with some buddies or whatever. But I always came home to her. You know what I mean? And we always had a fantastic fucking time. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about, guys. Is you gotta become the person that you want to be, and then find the key is to find that person that who she is, right? Who's solid, who doesn't have all this fucking baggage, right? And who comes into your life and makes your life that much better, right? It's like this. It's not like this or anything like that. It's where you guys come in. You guys are both solid. You guys both have a fantastic foundation, right? Good family. You come from a good family, good education. You share the same morals, that sort of thing. Come from good morals, maybe religious, that sort of thing. And she has very similar traits to you. And then you guys come in together and you guys make each other better. That's a relationship, right? That's what you got to look out for, man. That's what the world is about. It's not about getting into a relationship and be like, oh, like I'll tell you a couple stories of me, right, real quick. I remember when I was dating this chick a long time ago. I don't know, I was like 24 years old or something, and it was one of my first really long-term relationships, and I remember she used to run the show. She, I used to let her run the show. I mean, let's face it, right? I mean, we used to volunteer at what's called the ATC. It's the Arizona Theater Company, right? And we used to go do that together because she was all into culture and shit like that. She liked musicals and that kind of stuff. And I fucking hated that shit, man. But I would still do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me now, right? But now, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been, I probably never would have been with her. Let's face it, right? Then I met this other chick where I was just me. I'd go through my trades. I'd go, I'd date somebody that I really liked, and then I'd become a bitch. You know what I mean? And kind of bow to her, like I did with that chick. And then when I broke up with them, I was like, oh, fuck that. I'm free. You know what I mean? I'm going to be who I want to be. And every time I was who I was, right, I'd go to this Red Pill. And this was before Red Pill was even available. Before anybody knew about Red Pill. I was Red Pilled as fuck, right? So I'd go to my Red Pill self, right, who was the real me, who was trusting my intuition. I was just in my center, focused on my path, you know what I mean? Going to school, getting an education, becoming the person that I wanted to be. I was on that path, and I didn't let anybody get me off that path, right? And that's when I got the most ass. It was unbelievable. I had ass for days, man. I had women coming up to me because I was so comfortable in my own skin. And that's the key, guys. You got to be comfortable in your own skin. You can't waffle. You know what I mean? If you believe in something, stick to it. Stick by your guns. Don't let anybody knock you off your pedestal, man. This is your world, man. You are the CEO of your world. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know what I mean? Not even a pretty girl. I have a buddy that I was talking to today, man. He's like, well, I don't know how to talk to beautiful. Dude, you talk to them like you're talking to your buddies, man. They love that shit. If they don't deal with it, then fuck them. You know what I mean? Being different. Who cares? This is your world. You know what I mean? So, in the next video, I'm going to do another video right now, and I want to talk a little bit about the fundamentals, of red pill and the things that I truly believe in. But, I kind of wanted to have a second introduction to this channel and let you guys know that I'm still around and that I still really want to, I want to help you guys, man. There's a lot of guys out there that grew up like I did, I mean, I was basically, my mom raised me, and God, unfortunately, man, I followed that blue pill narrative the majority of my life because that's what I thought you needed to do. But that's what I learned, right? And it's not your fault for learning that. It's not any of your fault. It's not my fault. It's just that we didn't have dads, and the people that, I had a dad, but he didn't know any of this shit. He had no idea, man. And, God bless him, you know, um, he's in heaven, but, you just got to be thankful that you're learning it now. And if you're 20, or if you're 40, or if you're 50 like me, and you're barely learning this shit, that's okay, man. You know, the teacher will arrive when the student is ready. All right? All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.